What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Yankees Avenue Show on the Yankees Avenue YouTube channel. As usual, I'm Patrick Hennessy. That's Dan Allen Rourke. Dan, how are we doing on this beautiful Tuesday morning?
Beautiful Tuesday morning. Yes, Pat. Yo, it's a big week coming up. So I'm stoked. It's been a week since we last recorded an episode. I will say, kind of down in the dumpers, just a tad because my GM role did take a hit with Trey Turner signing with the Phillies. I think that's the last time I'll mention my offseason blueprint. I'm filled with hopes and dreams, though. I have a whole list of new things that I want to do that I hope are going to come true this week with the winter meetings. And yeah, dude, it's just like a good time for baseball. Like it feels good this week. How you feeling?
Yeah. It's not only a good time for baseball, it feels like a good time to be alive, right? Like, bang, I recovered from sickness like it's nobody's business. I have that post-sickness motivation now, and I have never been more excited to do an episode of the Yankees Avenue Show. Bro, also it's winter meetings week. Life just feels good right now. It's like Christmas season, it's all festive. Life is good. So let's just get right into it. We're talking about, Dan's failed GM tactics here. Bryan Reynolds has requested a trade from the Pittsburgh Pirates. The Yankees have shown interest. Let's play GM. How much would you be willing to give up for a Bryan Reynolds trade to the Bronx?
All right, yo, and this might piss some people off, but you know how I am about prospects. Pick one, hold on to him. That's Volpe. The rest, everybody else is on the table. Tell you flat out right now, Jason Dominguez and Oswald Peraza. You may think I'm crazy. I know. Listen, Reynolds, he didn't have an amazing year last year, but he still had an above 800 OPS, 27 homers, really solid defense. The way it's looking right now, I would say the favorite to be the Yankees guy in left field next year is Andrew Benintendi. His
Jason.
market, dude, is I don't want to say he's going to get 20 mil a year, but it's really picking up. Bryan Reynolds is making I think $6.5 million in 2023. He's projected to. If you make that deal, all of a sudden that's your left fielder for a pretty cheap contract. Then that would allow you to maybe then go out and get a Xander Bogaerts or Carlos Rodon on top of signing Aaron Judge.
Correa.
So, or Carlos Correa if you're Patrick Hennessy, which is fine. But, being that we're the children of the poor on our side of New York, apparently, we have a set budget to operate under. Bryan Reynolds is a damn good player and switch hitter too. I would love him in pinstripes. Been saying it for a while. And money wise, man, it would just really set up a lot of like for like Hal Steinbrenner and Brian Cashman. Like I feel like getting Reynolds to play left field makes our dream offseason even more realistic, as crazy as it may sound.
Yeah. No, I mean, listen, I agree with you in the sense of like pick one prospect and then kind of the rest are on the table. But I do think that any deal for Bryan Reynolds would have to take Jason Dominguez. And that's a pretty high asking price, right? But I just
Totally.
can't see a deal taking place without Dominguez being included. And I've seen a lot of Yankee fans kind of throw out their proposed deals on Twitter that don't include Dominguez. And I think anything without him, the Pirates would just laugh at, right?
Yeah, no chance that you can get him without Dominguez. It's going to take Dominguez, Peraza, and then probably I wouldn't be shocked if it takes another top 10 guy on top of that, to be honest.
Yo, if I'm being honest though, I think I would do it. I think I'd be more than willing to do it. Just because I mean, Dominguez has a great amount of potential, right? Like switch hitter, five tool player if he grows into all of his assets there. But that's an insane comment. Grows into all of his assets.
It made total sense to me. And yo,
Yeah, no, but
Reynolds is
it's
under control through 2025 as well. So you'd be getting him for 3 seasons. You would be getting
no, I
Reynolds
know.
for.
And also kind of what I was getting to there is like even with Dominguez like growing into all of his assets there, um I do think that you would kind of hope that he's even reaching the potential of what Bryan Reynolds is on a consistent basis, right? Because like we said, like Reynolds is one of the top outfielders in the league already. Like it's kind of what you're gonna get from him, barring any like insanely down seasons or injury problems. You know that you're gonna get all-star production. The hope with Dominguez is you're gonna be able to get all-star production. So any day of the week, I'm trading a top prospect for a solidified MLB talent.
Dude, absolutely. And that's a big point I made a lot last year when I was advocating for getting Reynolds because he was coming off a 6 WAR season. Like you said, I mean, if Jason Dominguez ever turns into a 6 WAR player, then I consider his development a total success. I feel a little more hesitant like describing him in that way just because he's coming off a 2.9 WAR season this past year, but I'm pretty sure he got off to like a slow start. Regardless, the talent is obviously there and he kind of fits exactly what this team is needing, especially the fact that he is a switch hitter. Dude, I'm all in on Bryan Reynolds. And it was kind of, I mean, rumors are rumors, especially this time of year, but it was nice that as soon as the report came out that he requested a trade from the Pirates, right away you heard that the Yankees are interested. And it just makes so much sense for them that I'll allow myself to be maybe a delusional optimist and think that it could actually happen because that would be awesome.
Yeah, no, I think that it's fairly realistic. Especially if Benintendi goes to the Astros, but we'll see.
He may for real get
Um,
20 mil, bro. That'd be nuts.
yeah, no, he's gonna get paid. But you know who else got paid, Dan? Justin Verlander by the New York Mets. 2 years, $86 million with an option for a third year. Now, I think that option for a third year, he just has to meet like a certain innings mark in the second year. I'm not sure what that number is, but if he's healthy, he's gonna do it. So this contract is most likely, as long as
I look at it
Verlander
as a
stays
3 year
healthy.
deal. I look at it as a
Yeah,
3 year deal.
it's going to be like a 3 year, over $100 million contract with, which to be honest, I mean, it's kind of a deal that the Mets had to make, especially after losing DeGrom to the Rangers. Personally, I know that there's a couple Yankee fans out there that wanted Verlander. I know we touched on it very briefly, and we were kind of like impartial to it. We weren't like ecstatic, but if the Yankees got him, we kind of would have been like, okay, cool.
Yeah.
But I would say I'm kind of unbothered by the Mets signing Verlander. It doesn't really do anything for me. The Mets now have like two 40-year-old men at the top of their rotation. I still think that the Yankees have a better rotation than the Mets. They're still little brother. And also at the same time, it's more so a deal that the Mets had to make because Verlander's their one. And then if the Yankees would have made a pursuit after Verlander and handed him $43 million a year, he would have been paid that money to be like our number two, number three.
Well, to be fair, you could kind of apply that same logic to the Mets because they have Scherzer. But listen, no,
Not
I mean,
really though. I mean, the Yankees rotation as of right now is a lot deeper than the Mets.
oh no, absolutely. But where the Mets do have a strength is their 1-2. I mean, ours 1 through 4 is better than theirs, but they're 1 and 2 with, we have Cole and Nestor. They have now Verlander and Scherzer. Regardless, when I saw the notification, dude, I texted my Mets
Your Met
fan
friends.
friends. Excuse me, god damn. Mets fan friends. And I was like, yo, that's a good move for you guys because they don't care about the luxury tax. That's fine. If the Yankees were to say not try to stay under that $273 million tax threshold, word, sign whoever you want, give Verlander $43 million a year. But that's not the case. So with that being said, if we're going to go after a big time starting pitcher, I wouldn't want it to be DeGrom. How about that contract, by the way? Insane. I wouldn't want it to be Verlander. Dude, the only big fish free agent pitcher that I'd be interested in is Carlos Rodon. But yeah, man, I'm glad he's out of the American League. That's nice. And I think for the Mets, it's a good move. But am I bothered by it? No, not at all.
Yeah. No, I mean, dude, there's very few things that the Mets could do that I'm bothered by. You know what I mean? If anything,
And
this is kind of a good thing for the Yankees because it gets Verlander out of Houston, where he's kind of killed us over the past couple seasons. However, like in that same breath, we all know the Astros are gonna whip out like some random pitcher from the minor leagues. It's gonna be 10 times better, right?
yeah, no, totally. And yo, let me be clear about even when I wrote the question, nothing to do with the fact that the Mets got him more so. It's just the fact that the Yankees, we were in on him and we ended up getting outbid by
Yeah.
the Mets across town. But nah, man, and you may think I'm crazy for this. I want the Mets to do well, as crazy as it may sound. Dude, I do. Like,
You're
unless
gassing
it
me now, though.
no, I've always said this. Absolutely, I've always said this. Unless it comes to we're facing them, say whether it's in the World Series or they're playing somebody that we need to lose or win, I don't have a problem with the Mets because I don't look at them as a threat.
I
I
do.
never
No, no, no.
ever will. I never will.
I'll tell you why I care a little bit when it comes down to crunch time. It's like I would be sick to my stomach if the Mets are the next New York team to have a ticker tape parade. You know what I mean?
Yes.
It'll
But
actually
I
make
think
me
that's
sick
where
if they
things
win the
will
World
change for
Series
me.
over us.
As of right now, I can't imagine that happening. For as long as I've been alive, while I personally have only seen one championship myself, I've really known nothing as a Yankee fan, nothing but success over the Mets. So there's no part of it that ever sees them either
Sure.
make a move or, have a good season to be like, oh no, they could be, on top in New York. Nah. I never really saw them as a threat to, like, I don't know whether you want to say our brand or whatever it may be. They're the little brothers, bro. They'll always be the little brothers until they prove otherwise. And signing Verlander doesn't really do that for me. Which, hey, the way I sounded right there almost sounds like I am a little bit salty. I don't know.
But Dan, listen, we're talking about little brothers. You know who's our big brother? Gerrit freaking Cole. You know, he's not even our big brother, he's our father, bro. I love Gerrit Cole.
I
So
thought we were about
Josh
to
Naylor.
talk about the Astros for a second, but yeah.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
That got a little dark. But listen, we're approaching the 3 year anniversary of Gerrit Cole signing with the New York Yankees. We all know that contract he got. I think it was 9 years, $324 million. Dan, I think we give him like a little like what?
What do you mean you think? You know exactly how much Gerrit Cole's contract was. You know it was
Okay. Okay.
324 million over 9.
All right, but
Go on.
I'm being nice to the people out there who
You're
might
being
not know.
humble about the how educated you are, Pat. Which I would hope everybody knows that, but
But Dan, 3 year report card. Let's give Gerrit Cole a letter grade for his first 3 years in pinstripe. I'm gonna go first, just because It's my question.
You
I'm
know,
a
you've been
big
going
quiz. I'm
first a
up
lot
for it.
lately, but dude, no, it's all good. Go ahead.
I'm gonna give Gerrit Cole a very, very nice A minus. Um,
Okay.
I would give him an A if he didn't have like those little hiccups. I think it could be completely fair if you're like a Gerrit Cole hater. I think the lowest possible grade you could give him that I would accept is a B plus. And that's like what I would expect Cole haters to give him. Because even though he's had like little hiccups here and there, he has always come in when it's mattered most. I mean, bro, I'm ignoring that 2021 wild card game when he was hurt. Don't care. That might be the only blemish in a little B plus action there. But I'm going A minus. Showed up in 2020, showed up in the 2020 playoffs. 2022 and the postseason this year was what cemented that A for me. If he would have choked, then we would have been looking at a lower grade. But yo, he kind of solidified himself as the Yankees ace this year.
Dude, I don't have the same grade as you, but you kind of described where I'm going, and that's a B plus. Now, what do we say going into our postseason preview? The way Cole performs in October 2022 is, at least 3 years in, really going to determine how Yankee fans feel about him. And yo, have we seen any complaints about Cole from reasonable minded individuals on Twitter at all over the last couple of months? No, the dude balled up, and I defend him over that wild card game because yes, he was hurt, and it wasn't the best of circumstances because of that. It still did happen, and that's why I don't give him that A minus or A plus, whatever. He goes down to a B plus because in the end, it still did happen, and it wasn't a game that ultimately ended our season. If Cole pitches better in that wildcard game, there's a chance we move on, right? So it did happen. Can't go A for him, but nah, dude. Overall, outside of even from a PR standpoint, man, I mean, outside of June 2021 with the whole spider tack issue, which was an issue, he's handled being a Yankee perfectly. He's kind of up there with Stanton. I think he's done really well in that regard. And yeah, dude, performance wise, hasn't won a Cy Young, but 2020 regular season was awesome, including playoffs. 2021 overall, I think he finished second in the Cy Young to Robbie Ray. And then, dude, this past year, he was really, really good, except a couple blunders here and there, then topped it off with a great postseason. I mean, I don't know if we remember or appreciate enough how awesome his game 4 performance was.
Yeah.
One, coming off
Huge.
his awesome game 1 game. Game 1 game, Jesus Christ. I'm not the best speaker, bro. Like, I should just retire from this business. But dude, being down 2-1, we went into that game, at least me and you, I think, feeling good. Like, that was the one, because how miserable were we after game 3, dude? It felt like our lives were
Dude,
shattered.
do you remember that phone
but,
call we had? Dan, no one, I don't think we've ever talked about this.
Dude, that was a
I called
serious
you,
low.
I FaceTimed you after game 3, and me and you had a conversation like we have never had before. Like, I was down for the count, but I've never seen you like that. Like, I
I
couldn't
know.
even talk to you. You know what I mean?
Because, dude, I was having the night of my life, and I won't get into the whole thing, but, dude, it totally flipped to, like, where I felt crushed. But the 1 ounce sliver of hope that I had was we got Gerrit Cole in the bump tomorrow.
Yeah.
And what do you know? He led us to a game 5, and of course, the Yankees ended up winning that series. But nah, dude, so far, he's been, I think the question last week was, would the Yankees do the Stanton deal again? We said yes. Would they do the Cole deal again? I think
100%.
absolutely yes. 100%. Yeah.
Bro, Gerrit Cole is just he's the guy that we signed. You know what I mean?
I have him,
And I think
and I
there
think
was a
now
lot
he
of question
goes.
marks in terms of, are the Yankees signing Astros Gerrit Cole or are they signing Pirates Gerrit Cole? And while I don't necessarily think we've gotten Astros Cole,
We
we've
haven't,
seen
no.
glimpses of him. I do think that we've gotten some nice middle ground where Cole has kind of like solidified himself as a very, very, very good pitcher.
I think we have the pitcher that the Pirates envisioned when they drafted him first overall
Sure.
at his highest peak without spider tack. And that's still a really, really damn good pitcher that's going to compete in the Cy Young every single
I
year.
love him.
Which, speaking of, I think now, especially with the pressure off, not that he couldn't deal with the pressure, but he's going to win the Cy Young next year. I'm as confident about that as I always am with Judge winning MVP. Like, I think he's going to be the guy next year that blows away the rest of the Cy Young contenders and takes home the award, pal.
Aaron Judge. Aaron Judge is showing up to the winter meetings today, Dan. He's showing up, walking in like he's worth $1 billion, I guess. $500 million, maybe. But he's
350
walking
million.
into the winter meetings, and Joel Sherman of the New York Post said he expects Aaron Judge to sign by the end of the day on Wednesday, which is the final day of the winter meetings. So I know over like the off season so far, we've had like our Judge meter, and we've kind of like been ranking it on a scale of 1 to 10 in terms of like how confident we are he's going to return to the Yankees. So I kind of want your thoughts on where you're kind of feeling, and I would ask you whether or not you think he's going to come back to the Yankees, but I already know that answer.
I don't think you do, Pal. I was going to say buddy. I was going to say pal. I was going to say Pat.
Came
Whatever.
out ballot,
I
but that's
don't
okay.
think you do know my answer because Well, one, my desire to keep Judge hasn't changed at all. Like he's the number one priority this offseason without a doubt. But yo, I mean, I ain't gonna lie. While I don't think it means anything to like his actual decision, how much he's playing the game of being a free agent, like naturally just has me thinking like somebody asked me before percentage odds or whatever. And I was like, man, a week ago I was at like 80-20. Then it probably dropped to like 70-30. Bro, I ain't gonna lie. I might be at like 65-35
That's where I
with the
am.
65 going
Oh,
towards New York. With
I'm
towards New York.
60-40.
Towards New York. You think he's still gonna go to the Yankees?
Yeah.
Yeah, so we're close, but I do have a little bit of stress, man. I tweeted out earlier, like I could feel myself somewhat starting to go into cardiac arrest already because it's gonna be a stressful last day. I'm gonna bunker my ass down, like I ain't going nowhere. Because God forbid, bro, I'm on the highway and Judge signs with the Giants, dude. No, I'm being dead ass serious, Pat. Like it may not end well. Like I gotta hold my seatbelt a little bit tighter if I were to be doing that.
No.
But nah, for real. I think he comes back to the Yankees. I think it's going to be a $350 million deal. But I'll tell you right now, bro, I cannot wait for this to be over. I do have a little bit of like Judge free agency fatigue, if you will. I think that's, if anything, like where if you say like, am I frustrated with how the process is gone? It's kind of that. Like I'm so pumped for this all to be over so we can one just move on. Two, I'm tired of all the bullshit rumors and reports. Like it's so like even before we started getting a notification, like the Red Sox are apparently a mystery team,
Okay,
which that
yeah, dude.
notification cracked me up. It's like, what do you mean mystery team? If you just said the fucking Red Sox are in it, that means they're not a mystery team. But like I'm ready for that stuff to be over. You know what I mean? Just like, bro, either sign or don't. Fortunately, I think he is gonna sign with the Yankees. So
I I disagree in the sense of like now that I feel like we're kind of in the home stretch, now I'm like really immersing myself in it. However, if Aaron Judge doesn't sign by the end of Wednesday, then I'll kind of like be like, yo, like what are we doing at this point? I'll kind of
the
like
fact that
start
he's
to
at
get
the
a little
winter
frustrated.
meetings is nice now though, because now you are
Dude,
past the bullshit. Because and I think he will sign because even from just like a players union standpoint alone, like he does kind of have to get going. I mean, Correa's waiting on him. The other big deals are probably waiting on him. So from that
yeah.
standpoint alone, he's gonna probably want to sign that contract soon. And even for the teams that whoever he's going to sign with, whether it is the Giants or whether it is the Yankees, like, dude, we got to know what's going on with you because that changed the entire outlook of what's to come this offseason.
Yeah, and let me say this. Speaking of like how Judge can change the entire outlook of the offseason, I don't think he should. And I think that's kind of like my biggest concern with this whole thing. My biggest concern here is that we kind of talked about it at nauseum at this point, but I don't want to sign Aaron Judge to a $350 million contract and then sit back and maybe re-sign Benintendi, maybe make a run at Carlos Rodon, and then kind of call it an offseason. You know what I mean? Because I
Totally.
know a lot of people are like really invested in Rodon and really want him, but like, bro, he doesn't move the needle for me. The Yankees
We're
have a
different on
really good
that. We're
rotation.
different there.
The Yankees have a really good rotation. I would much rather go out and throw that money at like a Carlos Correa, who I think is truly going to impact this team and impact an aspect of the team that is thin, and that's the lineup. Even if you do bring back Aaron Judge, we're still looking at a lineup that can't get the job done, and they've proven it postseason after postseason after postseason that the lineup is missing something.
Well,
We, bro,
you know I'm with you on that. I mean, I've been all about offense, offense, offense this
but that's what
entire
I'm saying. I
offseason.
don't want to improve the offense by improving the pitching staff. It seems like that's what the Yankees always do, and it becomes a problem at some point, right? Like in 2019, the Yankees had a pitching problem, right? So what did they do? They went out and they got Edwin Encarnacion. They improved the lineup, and then what else did they do? They go out and improve the bullpen rather than improving the rotation. They try to improve aspects of the team by improving other aspects. So now I could totally see them going the route and being like, oh, well, we're going to improve the offense by improving the pitching and not
I
making
know
the
you're
offense
saying. You're
have to score
saying
as much
they're trying
runs.
to make
It's
something that's
annoying.
already great even greater. I
Yes.
totally get that. And I'm with you. I mean, this, and it kind of ties back to question one. They're going to have to get creative if they want to stay under that $273 million tax threshold. And by, say, going out and get a Bryan Reynolds to play left field, that allows you to sign Judge and then get another superstar on top of that. That could be either Carlos Correa, a Xander Bogaerts. There's talks that, and this is a big part of, I don't want to say Hal Summer's legacy, but like, dude, he's kind of putting it all out on the table this offseason with the way he's talking, whether it's he won't be outbid for Judge. There's more money to spend than just on Judge. Dude, then you got to show it, man. You got to go out and get Judge. You still have to get a left fielder. And then, yeah, guess what? We still kind of need a shortstop. We got to figure out what's going on there. Bogarts is available, Correa is available, and I would like Carlos Rodon. I mean, he's awesome. He wouldn't be my number one priority outside of Judge, but if we could land him, dude, like he is so good, Pat. I'm not even sure if you fully realize, like
No, 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 Dan,
he's
I
a top
know.
10 arm in baseball. I get what you're saying. I absolutely do. I prioritize offense as well over the pitching, but part of me is still thinking like there is a world where we could maneuver it to we could sign Judge, Bogarts, and Rodon could still possibly be in play, or at least he should be if we make the other moves that make sense, like say dumping Hicks, dumping Donaldson, and not spending all that much in left field, like going out and getting a Bryan Reynolds or something like that.
Let me throw something at you, and because this is what I see is right now being like a fairly one of the most realistic scenarios in terms of the Yankees offseason. Judge, Benintendi, Rodon. Are you satisfied with that offseason?
What's the infield look like?
It's the same.
So you're saying like Rizzo at first, Glaber doesn't get traded, he's at second, Volpe at
Yeah.
short.
Well, not Volpe at
Donaldson at
short because
third.
he's not gonna be the opening day shortstop, but that's
Well,
gonna
I
be the
look at
plan.
long term. Okay, but
They're
I
gonna
hear you.
keep stopgap.
I would I would be able to live with that off season. Like I wouldn't be like throwing out pitchforks or nothing. It would not be ideal though. No. Now can I throw a scenario your way?
Go for it.
Okay, so you get Judge back. You don't get Benintendi back. You have to live with in left field. Your starting left fielder is Oswaldo Cabrera, but you do sign a Carlos Correa. So
Yeah,
no, you get Judge, no Benny, but you get Correa,
because that's my
Oswaldo, and Benny.
soft spot.
Okay, fine, fair. Take away Correa, replace him with Bogarts, Judge, Bogarts, and then and let's say Rodon. Let's say Rodon too, but Oswaldo starting in left. Are you content with that?
Yeah, I am.
Me too.
I do. No, I
Here's the
agree.
thing I really want to like nail home too is we don't know what's coming. I mean, that was one part of last offseason that I was excited about when it comes to the Donaldson deal. It was different. It was out of nowhere. That's likely going to be what's going to come again. We probably have no idea what's on way. You know what I mean?
Yo, but that's exactly what I wanted to touch on. But before we wrap up here, I texted you a couple days ago, and I was kind of
Mm,
going off on like an entire tangent on like, bro,
yeah.
like I know we want Judge back. I know it makes sense to bring Judge back, but just for entertainment purposes. Bro, if Aaron Judge doesn't come back to the Yankees, that will be the most entertaining aspect of Yankees baseball of our lifetime. There's so many storylines that would come out of
Offseason
Aaron Judge
wise, yes.
no, I mean even in general, all the storylines that would stem from Aaron Judge not coming back, from fan reaction to him not coming back, to him being on the Giants and coming to Yankee Stadium to play on opening day next year, to who replaces Aaron Judge. Does Stanton play the outfield now? What do you do with all the money that you were going to pay Aaron Judge? Do you bring in Correa? Do you bring in Benintendi, Reynolds? Do you just go all out this offseason? Do you become like a villain now, right? Do you, because you lost your superstar, so do you bring in Correa and become like the evil empire? Aaron Judge leaving the Yankees could be the best possible thing for entertainment purposes for this team.
Okay, for entertainment purposes. But I hear what you're saying, man. Like, I totally do. It'll be without a doubt interesting. And not that you could convince me, but you could like I could forgive one for thinking that a world without Aaron Judge could almost be a better reality.
It's an
Honestly.
idea. I mean, because dude,
I
at
don't
this
see that way,
point,
but I understand why one may think that. But to close things up here, because unless you have a final point to make, but I had a question to ask you because I really want to get
yeah,
this
go for
out
it.
here because it's coming up. Let's just say we're at opening day next year. Aaron Judge is a San Francisco Giant after competitive offers. Like it was basically this, let's say the same offer, Yankees and Giants. He decides he just wants to go to San Francisco. You're in Yankee Stadium next year, March 31st, Giants at the Yankees. What are you doing? Are you booing? Are you cheering? Doing nothing?
Man, it's
I know what I'm doing.
really weird. I don't think I'm booing, but I also don't think I'm cheering. I think I'm gonna sit back and kind of just watch it all play out. Only because, like, if the scenario comes out the way you said it, the Yankees put a competitive offer out there,
Which
and
will be the case. That
they're
will be
kind
the
of like,
case.
let's say they're equal offers, but he just goes to San Fran because of the whole location, family thing,
Yes.
whatever. Like, it's gonna be tough to like hate him for it, but also at the same time, like I'm still not gonna like him. You know what
It'll
I
be
mean?
the easiest thing ever for me to hate him for it. And for
Really?
anyone new around here, I'm the biggest Judge fan around. I think we all know that. But if the offers are the same and he decides just because he wants to go to San Francisco and live it up with his fucking in his grandma's bedroom, I don't know. Grandma's
I think
bedroom,
I would boo
childhood
him, bro.
bedroom.
No,
I
no.
would
I
boo the
think I
hell out of
would.
him. I would boo the fucking hell out of him. Absolutely. He
Bro,
would all of a
wait,
sudden
that's
go from
actually
being
an
he
insane
would go
thought.
from being my favorite player of all time. We know how I worship Aaron Judge to most hated player of all time because then it was just a pure matter of you just didn't want to be here. Offers were the same, the money was
Yeah.
there, and we kind of did, let's say, in this scenario, our best to bring you back, and you still just wanted to go. You just didn't want to be here. You wanted to go home and rot in San Francisco. Hey, bro, have at it. But I'm
Bro, but
certainly
that's
not going to,
that's a
by no
crazy
means, cheer you.
thought.
I'm going to boo your ass 100%.
Do you realize like that's why I'm saying like Aaron Judge leaving would be the most entertaining thing of all
It'd be
time?
nuts. It'd be nuts. Listen, we got to
Bro,
get
I
out of here though.
agree.
What
I
time
would
is
boo
actually?
Aaron Judge, bro.
Okay, but let's also remember that he hasn't signed there yet. So
No,
you're getting,
but
see, notice, notice. Last thing I want to say, some of you guys are getting a little too excited now about the idea. Like, you guys are almost writing Judge off as gone. Like, let's hold the fucking phone a
no,
little
because
bit.
it's fun. It's fun to think about. Like, let's just be honest. This whole thing is
My
fun.
heart says otherwise, pal. I think it just fluttered and palpitated or something.
Palpitated? Is that a
Yeah, it
word?
means it skipped a beat. Yeah. You know, you've said this to me before, bro. It absolutely is a word. I actually got a cardio appointment tomorrow, actually, or the day this comes out. That's gonna do it for this episode, guys. Thank you so much for listening. Schedule. I think we should go over it real quick. It's
Yeah.
gonna kind of be I want to say a little bit loose because we're at least I was gonna do at least one episode a week, but like say Judge signs the day this comes out, we'll probably be recording Tuesday night, get an episode out Wednesday morning. So especially this week with it being winter meetings, kind of pay attention to I guess updates.
I think this week though we'll have 2 episodes, just
At
because
least
I think that
100%. It's just a
yeah,
matter of I don't want to say firm when they're coming out though.
yeah,
Like
because
we
it
may
all
want to put an
depends on
episode
when the
out
news is.
Thursday instead of Friday. You know what I mean? So for without a doubt, 2 episodes a week. But for those who want, stay tuned to one, the Yankees Avenue YouTube community page, and two, also follow us on Twitter at the what is it, the Yanks Av Show? You'll see
Yeah,
it, Yanks Av Show,
yeah.
for updates there as well. That's to do it, man. Any final thoughts?
I have one last thought.
What? That I have
I
a bad hair
truly
day? I
believe.
know.
No, I think your hair looks nice.
Thank you.
But my last thought here is I truly believe this is our last episode until Aaron Judge makes his decision. I think
We'll
that
either
the
be in a
next
great mood
time we
next.
have a show, Aaron Judge will have signed somewhere.
Totally. No, you're absolutely right. I
You
mean,
agree?
that's a prediction. I would like to think so. If not, it's bullshit. Why even have to winter meetings then, bro?
Yeah.
He's showing up. I mean, like, dude, that's like
Bro, that's
one.
big.
Pat, we may have a press conference by the time the next show comes.
Oh, it's gonna be
See you guys next
interesting.
time. Well, yeah, let's go Yankees.